A brand new monthly residency is coming to Times Square's Comedy Village. Funny women of a certain age.
People who have millennials, are they still living with you? Oh, they're the worst, man. They leave, they come back, they leave, they come back. I moved, he found me. You know what I mean? So he did move out. The first time he ever moved out, he was 20 years old. He was out for 2 years. It was really good. And then he moved back. He was having roommate problems. And I remember saying to him, well, why'd you move out? You know, we live in New York City. It's very expensive. And he goes, Mom, I was starting a date. I was worried if I brought home a girl, you'd walk in on us. Like, that's horrible. I would never do something like that. But then he moved back home. He brought home a girl, and I had to because he challenged me.
This morning we are joined by a veteran comedian and producer who's proving funny doesn't have an expiration date. Carole Montgomery, great to have you here, Carole.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
I know the game of moving out, moving back in, moving out. I remember those days. You are the mastermind, though, really behind Funny Women of a Certain Age, which really has kind of taken on this identity of its own, this show. It has a huge following.
Yeah. I mean, I created the show. It's all female comics over the age of 50. Because at 50, you are considered invisible.
Yep.
So I decided to do this and just give more work to older female comics.
Nice.
You know, I mean, like I say, if I had to choose between ageism or sexism, I would take a pat on the butt because it meant somebody noticed me.
At what point, though, did you find, like, I feel like we need this kind of show?
Well, we've always needed this kind of show. But I just started, you know, I've been doing stand-up since 1979, so somebody do the math. I don't even want to know what that is. So I've been doing it a very, very long time. And as I got older, I noticed, I was a national headliner. I was playing comedy clubs all over the country. Then I moved to Las Vegas. I was starring a couple of reviews out there. And then when I came back to New York, all of a sudden it was like everything was done.
Why?
Because I was in my 50s. Yeah. I came up with the show when I was 59. I'm 67 now, and it's like it's become this snow. It started as a little snowball, and it just keeps going like this.
Yeah, laughter doesn't have an age.
Yeah, well, one of the hashtags of our show is "Funny Never Gets Old."
Yeah, there you go. And now you have a residency.
Yes, I'm thrilled about this. The Comedy Village, which is a brand new club in Hell's Kitchen. What I love about the club, besides, and I'll talk about the owner and how great he is too, but it's on the block, the legendary block of where the original Improv opened. So that's where, it's literally two stores down, and that's where comedy really started in the 60s. Yeah. And PJ has this great room now, and PJ's a comic from back, like we've known each other forever. What I love about PJ, he's so supportive of young comics, and he's supportive of women comics. Because even though we have moved, you know, we've moved the ball, but there's sometimes in the city, on the weekends, there's no females on the show. How is that possible?
Right.
Women are funny.
We are funny.
Who's in the show then?
We have Ann Stessney, who I found while we were doing Zoom comedy during COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corey Kahaney, who's done Letterman and The Tonight Show, and then Leanne Lord, who was on the third Funny Women special called Even More Funny Women of a Certain Age. Yeah, it's a great show. And what I try to do every month is I try to get somebody who's new but older.
That was my question, yeah.
And then some of the veterans. So you get a mixture of really what's going out, what's out there. The thing about it, I don't have to do the show because I trust these women are so good at what they do that I can leave because I know the show's going to be great. And it's good for everybody. Like, it's of a certain age, but every special we shot, there was at least a third of them were millennials.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Young people come to the show, too.
Yeah.
And men and women.
Oh, men, too. We want the men there.
Yeah, it's like now you know what's really happening in our lives.
Right, exactly. We want the men there because we want to pick on them. And
of course.
The reason I love having young people there is because I always find a young person.
Yeah.
And then I pick on them, of course, because I always say, you know, there's older people, you're 21, we're going to drink your blood. That's but I also say to them that I know that picking on a young person is ageism too.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop because they're young.
You know, you mentioned the new comics as well, because that's what's so tough sometimes for the newbies is to break through.
Right.
So you're giving them that chance while also having a veteran, so they're kind of, it's like breaking through but also learning at the the same
right.
time.
And what's fascinating about stand-up, it's blown up in such a, you know, everyone's a comic. When I started in the 70s, nobody knew what a comedian was. So now everyone's doing it. And you have a lot of older people who are doing stand-up. And I was like, let's give them a chance. Like, they can't go on the live show, like we have a tour, like the big theaters, because they're expecting a certain
caliber.
But it's so wonderful to be able to give these women a chance to be seen and heard, because we're not. You know, I always say that I think older women should be spies, because no one will see us coming.
You should be one. Very unassuming, yeah.
It's very unassuming.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to change the views of what older people are. You know, because I'm 67. So people think when you turn 65, you're feeble and you're frail and you can't. I always like to say to people, I'm incontinent, not incompetent. And I have a T-shirt for you that says that. Look at
my God, that is so funny. And I love how she turned to me and said frail. She's like, frail. Yes, that would be me.
Nice.
You're not frail.
No, I'm kidding. I love, though, how you're inspiring women to go and get into comedy, or to stay in comedy, not just get into it, but to stay in it.
Well, and that's the other thing, is that, you know, all these years, I always people always say, why did you do this? And of course, I want to help women and support them, but I just want to work with my girlfriends. You know, women don't get to work together. You know, because the great thing about girlfriends, no offense, but the great thing about girlfriends is if you call them at 3 o'clock in the morning and go, quick, I need a shovel, they don't ask any questions.
Right. What do you need the shovel?
See, men would be like, why do you need the shovel? Do you need duct tape?
How big of a shovel?
Kind of, exactly, how big of a shovel?
We're talking about a flower pot shovel? We're talking about a, you know, anything.
Wow, look at you. No, my girlfriends are like, I'm there. I'm not asking. I'm not telling. I'm not.
Flower pot or grave? Which kind of shovel are we talking about?
Oh my God!
Right. That's
a man.
What a great show! I'm so glad you're doing this.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And please, you're more than welcome to come anytime you want. Please just talk to PJ, and we'd love to have you guys as our guests.
You're awesome.
We'd love to.
Thank you so much.
Hurt from laughing.
Yeah, and congrats on the residency. It's great. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. Thank you. Every third Wednesday.
Every third Wednesday. You just took the line. Don't miss Funny Women of a Certain Age every last Wednesday of the month. Every last Wednesday of the month.
Every third Wednesday.
Every third Wednesday of the month. That's what Ron Burgundy said. Tickets $20 at comedyvillage.com.